Before we bring our special guest, let me share a little bit about myself. I am currently an online student pursuing a graduate program in the learning technologies at UNT. So additionally, I serve as a graduate assistant for the online student experience department. As an online student, I understand the challenges we face in these learning environments and the struggle to balance life and academic commitments. So, however, here at UNT, I've been supported in different ways to overcome those challenges, and we want you to learn how to get the support too. After all, we're all part of the Mean Green family. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our first special guest. And my special guest plays a crucial role as a manager in the online student experience department, where we had the honor to work alongside. So throughout my time as a graduate assistant, I've been witnessing her unwavering commitment to helping the UNT online student community excel academically and personally. She generously shares her knowledge, time, and genuine support. And on a personal note, I have to say that my guest has been an incredible mentor and an inspiring role model to me in my professional development. So, without further ado, let's welcome Aundrea Caraway.
Awesome. And thank you so much for such a warm welcome and awesome introduction, Astrid. I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited to start this series for online students because there are just a lot of amazing things happening in the Division of Student Affairs. And the hope is that we can bring a lot of these programs and resources under one roof so they're easier to find. It's easier for online students to navigate and to know that they still have lots of opportunities for engagement and connection as an online student. And so we're really excited to be here. And I am excited to answer your questions and just share what is going on with the online student experience. So this should be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Aundrea. Thank you so much for being here and for allowing us to get to know you a little bit more and your role in the online student department. Can you provide us a little bit more of uh, what is your role in the department and what is your experience working with online students?
Awesome. So the online student experience is a newly formed department in the Division of Student Affairs. The Division of Student Affairs has been doing online programs and events for students for a number of years. In fact, during my time before I moved into this role, I was an assistant director in orientation and transition programs. And I worked with online mentoring programs and programs for transfer students that were online. And so it wasn't just me. There are lots of folks all over the division, the Career Center that has like lots of virtual programs and resources for students, the Rec Center that has virtual workouts on their website, the First Generation Student Success Center does a lot of wonderful things online and hosts a lot of their workshops online. And even though all of this was happening, it was kind of all happening like in different areas of student affairs. And there wasn't kind of one point person for online students to be able to say, okay, what can I participate in as an online student? And so that is how this department was formed. And that's how I got into this role. And so I moved into this role and we are really building a new program. And so I think the cool thing about building a new program is that there are lots of opportunities for students to share their feedback and to share what they want their online student experience to look like. And so when you see surveys coming out asking about your experience as an online student, if you have an opportunity to participate in focus groups, or even if you just at the end of this, you'll get my contact information if you just directly email me and tell me what you think and what you want to see for your experience. We want students to be a part of building this program. And so my role specifically is to make sure that students have access to all of the wonderful programs and resources provided by the Division of Student Affairs.
Wow, that sounds very exciting. You already mentioned a ton of things that I'm going to try to dissect into different questions. So, as an online student, I understand that navigating online learning can be very challenging sometimes. So, how does the online student experience department support students and what resources are available to help them succeed? I know you mentioned already some of those, but I want to hear a little bit more of how these departments work towards online student success in general.
Awesome. So a couple of resources come to mind. And so the first one are really being able to utilize the online student experience Canvas course. And I have got a little slide here that has a QR code where you can see how you can enroll in this course. And in the online student experience course, it's no credit or anything like that. It's just a self-enroll course that you can use as a resource in Canvas. We've got links to resources, to programs that are happening for online students, things like the UNT IT Help Desk, Virtual Career Center resources, the Learning Centers 101 series that's online. All of that is there, and the Canvas course kind of really becomes a hub where you can find a lot of different resources, and we are adding content to it throughout the year, throughout the semester. Another really great thing that I think that is there to support students is the Online Jumpstart series. You can find the series in Canvas, and it is a 6-session series that is designed to help students get their semester started off right. And so the sessions are pre-recorded, it's on demand, so you can do this at your own pace, on your own time, and really fit it into your schedule. And so there are 6 pre-recorded sessions. There are some reflection questions to get you thinking about how you can better set yourself up for success as an online student. And then we'll host a couple of live just Q&A sessions, connection sessions throughout the first 6 weeks of the semester so that you can ask questions and connect with other students who are completing the series. I think another really great resource for students is the Online Student Experience website, where you will find information about resources for online students. You'll be able to find virtual events that are happening on campus for students. And so I think those are kind of 3 of the really top ones. Oh, and online student success coaching. I think we'll talk a little bit more specifically about this, but I'm really wanting to provide an opportunity for students to be able to meet one-on-one with a member of the online student experience team to help navigate their online learning experience as a student.
That's great, Aundrea. Thank you for sharing that information. And now let's talk a little bit about how people can connect with other students, staff. Do you offer any, or do you have any examples of virtual programs and events that the online student experience organizes to engage and connect online students?
Yeah, absolutely. So, not only through the online student experience, but UNT at large, I think going to live online events, especially workshops and things where it's going to have a chat and you're able to connect with other students and introduce yourself and things like that. Those are all going to be great ways to build social connections. Some of the really fun things that we did is we hosted a week of online programming in November, specifically for online students during Online Student Appreciation Week. Things like an online trivia night. There was a virtual scavenger hunt, and we actually got to mail people prizes that completed it and that came in first, second, and third place. So that was a lot of fun. And other departments in the division hosted events during Online Student Appreciation Week because they really wanted to celebrate our online student population. And so there was virtual tarot card reading. There were documentary screenings. There were online workout days and programs. And so it was a lot of fun and a lot of things that were going on, but probably one of my favorites that we got to do, and Astrid, you were there with me too, so you can kind of share a little bit about this too, is our to You event. And so we actually did some in-person meetups for populations or for areas where we have a large population of online students. And so we had dinner and we had raffle prizes, and students got to meet other students and exchange contact information. And so I hope that we're able to do more things like that, where we can come to a local area and say, hey, we're bringing UNT to you because you're not close to campus, and able to help online students meet other online students in their local area. Astrid, did you have anything else to say about UNT to You? I know you attended these events as well.
Yeah, I mean, all I have to say is that it was a rewarding experience, especially to make that face-to-face connection in person. that was fantastic, and that's the feedback we have from most of the attendees. They really want to feel that they're also part of what we do here at UNT, kind of have a feel for what we do for in-person students. So that was really a great experience, and I hope we keep on doing that, because it's important to have that connection beyond the screen. So yes, that was fantastic.
Awesome. I think some other things that we've done just honestly just last week. Last week to start
Yep.
off the spring semester, we did a digital vision board workshop where students could come and learn about goal setting, about creating a vision for your semester, and using a vision board as a tool to bring your dreams, your goals to life. We use the Canva program, the Canva app. So if you've ever seen Canva, where you can do graphic design and things like that, it was kind of fun because some people had never worked in Canva before. So they got to learn something new. People got to share their vision boards with each other. And so things like that were a lot of fun. We also, I think, did a strengths workshop last week. And so if you ever heard of the Clifton Strengths Assessment, we made sure that online students have an opportunity to learn about their strengths and talents as well. The Office of Orientation and Transition Programs houses our strengths program here at UNT. And one really cool thing that they've done is they've made the assessment accessible to our students. And so UNT pays for our students to take the assessment, and you just have to go and request access to the assessment if you're interested. And so those are the things that we do. So we try to see what's appropriate for the time in the semester that we're in. We try to listen to what students are requesting and what they are wanting to hear. We did strengths again. We also did strengths during First Flight Week in the fall in August. And so that was one that was highly requested. And so we listen to the requests that we get from students, and we will do programs and workshops that align with the goals and the interest of our students.
That's awesome, Andrea. Thank you so much. So now that you mentioned about these events and things that are in place for our online students, you mentioned also student success coaching. How does this coaching work, and what kind of support can a student expect to receive through this service?
Awesome. So probably one of the first things I did when I came into this role is I I was an online student myself, and I knew for one of my degrees, not for all of my programs, but for one of my degrees, I was an online student. And I knew that because things are spread out among multiple websites, or maybe across departments or even across divisions, I knew that sometimes it was difficult to find what I was looking for, and that it would have been really nice to be able to talk to someone who maybe knew, because they worked at the institution and things like that, knew a little bit more about where these programs and resources are housed and can point you in the right direction. And so that is really what we do with online student success coaching. You can schedule an appointment through the Navigate app. So it's the same app that you use to schedule your appointments with mentors, with advisors, with career coaches. A lot of those one-on-one appointments at UNT are going through Navigate. And so that is where you can schedule an online student success coaching session. And you can ask questions, you can share your goals, you can share some of the challenges that you're experiencing as an online student. And so when you log into Navigate and you search for online student success coaching, it will give you some options of things that you can select as the topic for your online student success coaching meeting. So you can choose engagement and support, career and leadership, student life, well-being and safety, or just general questions. There's also space for if you want to give more details or share more specifically the answers you are trying to get. That helps our team prep a little bit better for you when you're coming into an online student success coaching session. And then once you schedule your appointment and Navigate, you'll receive a link from one of our team members that has the link to your virtual meeting. And then when it's time for your meeting, you just click the link, log in, and share what it is that you want to share. And honestly, this is really designed to be flexible and work for you. So there are some students who have a very specific question We see them maybe one time, and because we go, we answer their question and we solve their problem, and that is great. There are other students who honestly just like having someone to touch base with every once in a while. So there are students that I meet with, every couple of weeks, even on a weekly basis, just to make sure that they are on track with their goals, that they are staying on top of their schoolwork. And so even if you just want a little bit more of an extra accountability, or it just helps you to feel connected, to be able to have a support system or someone in your support network that you can see on a regular basis, we can do that as well. So I really hope that that's something that students will take advantage of, because I love, love, love meeting with students, talking to students, hearing about their experiences, hearing about their goals, and seeing how I can be a person that can cheer them on for reaching their goals and that can help them to achieve them. That's really important to me.
Thank you, Andrea. And all that brings me to my next question. You mentioned um, that DSA has many departments, and we also understand that online students typically deal with many responsibilities, homework, doing their school online. So I would like to know more about flexibility. How does the UNT online student experience embrace and enhance this flexibility for students?
So yes, it's really important to me that not only our programs in the online student experience, but also helping departments in the Division of Student Affairs make sure that we have a variety of programs, right? A good mix of like live, synchronous programs where students can meet other people, they can ask their questions in real time, they can connect with people, but also a good mix of things that are available on demand. And so whether that is recording things specifically for online students so that they're available on demand, whether it is doing live streams like this, but we'll also have a recording that will be available for students after the fact. Those are the things that I always want to think about is are we thinking with online students in mind? Do we have a good mix of live things that are happening as well as on-demand things? And then I think for the live programs that we have going on, making sure that we are offering them at a variety of different times that will work with a lot of different people's schedules. And so, Astrid, you and I have been working on doing the week of welcome drop-in sessions. This week and last week, just for the start of the semester to help people navigate that. But I mean, we've done sessions in the morning, sessions in the afternoon, even sessions in the evening after our normal work hours to make sure that those students who are maybe working full time or have other responsibilities have a lot of opportunities to connect with us and to meet with us and be a part of the programs and services that we are offering.
Yes, that's absolutely right. We had this past 2 weeks, we celebrated Week of Welcome for the first time, I believe, with our online students. Is that correct? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
This was our second week of welcome. So we also did week of
Yes.
welcome in the fall, but I think that was before you were hired. So that was before
Yeah, probably that's why I didn't know.
before you were working with me. So this was your first week of welcome. But actually, week of welcome virtually actually has existed for a while. Let me backtrack and make sure that I tell
Okay, thank you. Please clarify that for me and for everybody here.
For Week of Welcome, that is a program that is a lot of people at UNT working on. So typically for our in-person students, there are tents on campus that students can stop and ask for directions and that type of thing. And so that's been going on for a couple of years. And honestly, since its beginning iteration, the Office of Orientation and Transition Programs has always had staff that have had like a Zoom open and things like that for people to be able to come in and drop in their questions. This is the first year that the online student experience took over having the virtual part of the week of welcome so that they could focus on in-person students and making sure all of that goes smoothly. And we could partner with them and work with them to be able to make sure that online students also had these great opportunities to connect and that they were getting their semester started off correctly. And so for the online week of welcome, there were some resources in the online student experience Canvas course that I mentioned earlier that kind of gave you the basic points of what to do if you can't log into Canvas or what what is the technology I'm expected to use as an online student? And so some of those resources were there, information about online student success coaching, and then of course the drop-in sessions where Astrid and I were available to video conference with students throughout the week to make sure that they were able to get their questions and things answered. And so we were really excited and happy to do that.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that. And this is also an opportunity to remind everybody who's joining right now, like the main sources of communication, the things that you need to check on a daily basis, or just to keep in mind when you're an online student. For instance, your Canvas, check your Canvas daily, once or twice, or even more if you have many courses. Your email, your UNT email, and we invite you to check our website, right? An online student experience website. Is there anything else, Aundrea, you want to add to it?
Yeah, you definitely hit it right on the mark of you got to check your UNT email and your Canvas course every single day, because those are our primary official communications from the university, especially when it comes to your coursework and things like that. And you're here to get your degree. We want to see you graduate. So we want to make sure that nothing slips through the cracks in terms of important communications, whether it's, administrative things about financial aid or the things coming from the registrar and getting registered for classes, or things specifically from your instructors about your coursework. So that's important. I think in terms of like staying in the know about events and programs and services and things on campus, I think follow UNT social media accounts. And so the Division of Student Affairs, we're on Facebook, Instagram, X or Twitter, and YouTube. And so you can follow the Division of Student Affairs there, programs and things that are happening from the online student experience. We will post them there. So that is a great place or a great thing to follow, especially if you're wanting more of the student life experience. I also recommend that you go to social.unt.edu. You'll find an official directory of all of the social accounts at UNT. And so obviously, we want you to follow us, but some other great ones to follow are UNT Online. And so they are a great one that is more of an academic connection to online programs and things like that. But I work closely with that team to make sure that we are also sharing events and connection and student life things as well. I recommend that you follow your college or school if they have their social media accounts listed there, because that is a great way for you to stay connected to academic opportunities that might be available for you. And then the UNT calendar. So if you go to calendar.unt.edu, you'll find the UNT calendar, and you can actually filter all of the UNT events by online and streaming if you are interested in seeing more things that are coming up. So things like the Distinguished Lecturer Series that is coming up, which will be really exciting, or other workshops throughout UNT. Whenever I talk to departments, whenever I talk to people on campus, I tell them really make sure that you put your events on the UNT calendar and that you tag them as virtual or streaming so that our online students can filter that list and find the things that apply to them.
That is great to know. And I certainly recommend you, everybody who is connected here, to really follow the social media sites, because we have a ton of events that sometimes we miss for not just checking those channels. So yes, great information there. And we're getting close to the end of this interview. I'll invite you to drop your questions in the Q&A. We're going to cover it at the end of this session. But if there's something that students should take away from this interview, for everything what you mentioned before, Aundrea, what are your top tips for online students to succeed at UNT? Sorry.
I'm so glad you asked. So yes, I have a whole slide prepared. So these are my top tips for online students to succeed at UNT. And so the first one is really to stay connected. There is so much research that tells us that students perform better academically, they have better experiences, and they just overall enjoy their college experience when they are connected. So we already talked about, Canvas and email, for those things that are really important daily to check for updates. We already talked about kind of following social media channels and things like that. But this other one, it might be a little bit harder, but building relationships with your peers, with faculty and staff. And so that one requires sometimes for you to get out of your comfort zone. If your instructor in your class has a discussion board and they ask you to introduce yourself, obviously introduce yourself. But if you see other people who have similar interests as you do, send them a message, connect with them. You can still have a social connection and social network while you are an online student. Whether it's through mentoring, that's another great way to build relationships with peers, faculty, and staff. We have peer mentoring programs. We also have alumni and staff mentoring programs at UNT that allow you to have that connection with those groups. The next one is to be organized. As an online student, you have a lot to keep up with, and a lot of it is digital. And I think there's a little bit more kind of autonomy of when you are going to get your things done, especially if you're in a course that maybe a lot of the content is asynchronous. And so you can go at your own pace. You don't want to wait until the last minute to do that. So use a planner to keep up with your assignments and deadlines. Have one place for all of your notes and handouts and other materials so that they are easy to find. And I also think it's really great, especially for online students, to use a designated study space to do your academic work. And so whether it's a local library, whether it's your desk at home, I think having a space where you know that is where I normally study, that space is designated for my online work, really helps students to succeed. To be actively engaged. So participate in your courses through discussion and asking questions. Make sure you're not just passively observing the content, but make sure that you're contributing to your classroom and academic environment as well. I also recommend that you get involved in co-curricular learning experiences. So leadership opportunities, student organizations. Online students are absolutely able to be a part of online student organizations. And we actually have organizations that meet virtually. And if you don't see an organization that works for you, you can create one. And so, partner with student activities to see what type of organization you can create for online students, because there might be other online students who are wanting to connect and engage as well. I recommend that you stay. Go ahead, pop in here, Astrid. I was like, I have two more, but I definitely don't want to stop your feedback. So if that brought like an idea or something up for you, feel free to hop in here. Um, the other one is to stay focused. And so minimizing distractions like social media and notifications while you're studying, maybe put your phone on do not disturb. I also think it's important to revisit your goals throughout the semester and reward yourself when you reach your milestones. And then last, but certainly not least, take care of yourself. Create healthy habits. So make sure you exercise, that you get good sleep, that you're eating healthy foods and drinking water, and reach out for help when you need it. There are so many people at UNT that want to see you succeed, that want to see you win. There's another resource that I'll share, but wellness.unt.edu is a really great spot to get just different resources about wellness. And it's cool because there are different dimensions of wellness. And so a lot of times when we think wellness, we just think about either like exercise, doctor's appointments, or mental health. But, making sure that we are intellectually healthy, that we have the ability to create and be creative, that our social relationships are healthy. And so we have a wellness wheel at UNT that has all of these different dimensions of wellness. And again, if you go to wellness.unt.edu, you'll have links to all kinds of websites and resources, specifically, resources that are available, on campus and off campus. So there are even resources specifically for online students that you're able to use to make sure that you are staying well. I know that was a mouthful. So, Astrid, go ahead.
No, that was amazing because we, I mean, we all have different needs, right? So it's great to know that we can channel those needs throughout this program. I hope everybody took a screenshot of that information, but I know we have a place where all that information is housed. So
Yes, you can find
um,
it if you self-enroll in the online student experience course. Right on that homepage, you'll see online student success toolkit, and so that is where we have all of those tips. And in addition to those tips, just kind of listed out, you'll see resources available to help you with each of those tips that I just mentioned.
that is great. And I assume that if somebody has a specific question about a specific item and they need to dive more into one aspect, they can do it through a coaching session, correct?
Absolutely, that's what we're here for.
Yes, thank you, Aundrea. I mean, I'm so fascinated. And I know I've been working with you as a graduate assistant. I've been learning all these things, but every time I learn something new. And it's great to know that we have that support. And as you mentioned, if there's something that you cannot find, you can still propose or create a new group. You never know who has a similar need or some related situation to yours. So yeah, let's build a friendly community with our online students. Um, I think we have covered most of what we plan to cover today, and I would like to hear if we have any questions in the chat, or if you have any questions for me, please.
Well, Astrid, you're an online student as well. And so I think,
Yes.
especially thinking about, I know you're towards the end of your program, but at the beginning of your program, like what were some of the challenges that you experienced as an online student, as well as like what were some of the things you found really helpful as an online student to help you succeed and to feel connected and engaged on campus?
Well, definitely navigating the resources, finding the right tools and places to address some of my personal and academic needs was a little bit challenging. I have to do a lot of like Google and try to find what I needed. So of course, after I enrolled as a student, it was very helpful to connect with my professors. Most of them, they have been very supportive and they understand the situation because for them, navigating an online learning environment is challenging too. So I have been getting all the support from professors, from people like you that understand a little bit better how to navigate these learning environments.
I know UNT has so many resources, which is really exciting, but it's also can be overwhelming. And so that is some of the ways
Yes.
that I'm trying to do of figuring out how do we consolidate it, how do we make it easy for everyone to find. So awesome. Well, I want to make sure that you all have my contact information. That way you can,
Yes, please.
if you ever have any questions or um, if is feedback that you have or things like that, feel free to reach out to me. I want to thank you all so much for attending our first Meet DSA live stream. I'm excited about this series. Like I said, I think it's going to get better and better as we go. I'm excited that you get to put a face to a name. I know sometimes you see, emails from certain people or things like that. And so part of what we want to do with this series is make sure that you all get to put a personal touch and meet the people who are working hard here at UNT to make sure that you succeed.
Thank you, Andrea. And I'm so excited we have this space and for what is in the horizon for us. So please stay tuned. We will communicate with you guys via email, but also feel free to contact me directly or Andrea, and we're here to help. We are all part of the Mean Green family. And that's something we cannot skip there, but we all know we're part of it. Can you expand a little bit of how our online students can feel, empowered that Mean Green family that we encourage
I mean,
here.
yeah, I think community is really important here at UNT, and we are better together. That's in our values, and online students are definitely a part of this community. And so we want you to feel like you can contribute. We want you to feel like you are empowered to have your voice heard, and we want you to make friends and get a chance to connect with faculty and staff as well.
Thank you, Aundrea. I don't see any other questions in the chat. But like I said, please write down this information. You can find us at the Online Student Experience website here at UNT, the Student Affairs website. They also have a link directly to our site. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or need any help navigating your online learning environment here at UNT. And I think we can close this. Is there anything else, Aundrea, you want to add before we say see you soon?
No, just bye. Have an awesome semester. And I'm glad you hung out with us today. So have a good one.
Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned for our next Meet DSA live stream. Thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.